Namaste everyone and welcome back. Today we are going to work on our back. To start off with, I am going to start with our regular staple stretch, the greatest stretch, holding 2 seconds at the lowest and the highest points of the stretch. Now let's move on to our warm-up exercise. For our warm-up exercise, I am going to do the Y raises. I have done 2 sets of it, 12 to 15 repetitions. On my second set, I also included the W raises just to get a little bit of upper back activation, a bit of mid trap activation. Now for my first exercise, I'm going to do lat pull downs. My target here is 3 sets, 8 to 10 repetitions with a above body weight and body weight pulling. If you're unable to pull your body weight as of now, it's absolutely fine. Take a challenging weight and try to get 8 repetitions, 8 to 10 repetitions. 8 repetitions should be the most challenging part. If you're able to get 10 repetitions, that's really great. So I've done 3 sets of a very good amount of weight. The motion I try to follow is similar as I leave as I leave my hands up. I move a bit forward. As I bring the bar down, I move a little a bit behind to get an extra amount of contraction in my back. The other cue is to make sure you remember that you're driving the motion with your elbows. Try to get your elbows as far behind as possible. So here for my third set, if you see, I kind of overdid, went a little bit heavy and a bit explosive. So I got tired after my fifth and sixth rep. So I had to take a rest pause technique to finish my reps. So after my sixth rep, I guess, I was unable to pull the bar completely down. So what I did is I just got up, took a few seconds, shake it off, and then went back to it and got my 2 to 3 repetitions. So if it happens with you when you take a challenging weight, you can do the same thing. You can take 5 to 10 seconds off in between, let the blood flow back into your arms and get back to the exercise to finish your repetitions. Now, if you are failing at 3 to 4 reps, that means you have taken too much of weight. 5 reps is still fine. Now, for my next exercise, I tried to do some pull ups. If you can do pull ups, do 3 sets of it. 10 repetitions would be the target. For me, I was hitting my max limit at 4th and 5th repetition at my body weight. So for my next exercise, I did chest supported rows. Again, I took a challenging weight. Here in the close up, you can see how my lat is stretching out way forward at the when the weight is resting, and from there I pull the weight back as far behind as possible with my elbows going behind me to get that extra amount of contraction on my lats and my mid back. This exercise really fires up your upper back entirely and creates an extraordinary stretch for your lats. Make sure you take a neutral grip. I initially tried to change the grip, but I wasn't feeling comfortable, so I switched back to neutral grip. It could be you know, I was not able to set well with my or the equipment which I have at my disposal. But if you're doing it with dumbbells like we used to do earlier on an inclined bench, the grip is already quite neutral, and you remember the cue. You try to pull the dumbbells towards your hips and flare your elbows out as much as possible. Great exercise for your upper back and also builds a lot of strength, pulling strength. And we are done. Last rep. I was taking about 60 seconds break in between every exercise. So for my last exercise, I am going to do single hand dumbbell or kettlebell pulls. So here I don't like to take a stance on the bench. I like both my feet grounded, and I also like to keep one foot on my pulling hand side a little bit back so that I can pull the kettlebell or the dumbbell far behind my back up to my hips and flare out my elbows as much as possible to get maximum amount of lat movement in terms of both stretch and contraction. And that's it. We are done with our exercises. Thank you so much for joining me.